So it is time for this year's video from Denmark where I'm photographing heather, and I have come to one of the most famous places in all of Denmark to see blooming heather. Sadly, it seems I'm maybe a week too late in regard to like peak heather. There's just been so much I've had to attend. And this area here, I've come here because I wanted to photograph this place with heather for like years. I just never really managed to. Right now the sun is setting, and you can see here the hills are being lit. And the problem with this kind of golden light on heather is that it just becomes like dark red and not really that purple color, as you can see here in the shadow, that heather is known for. So I am here to photograph during sunrise mainly, and there is a chance that there may be a little bit of fog, so I am hoping for some atmosphere tomorrow morning, and until then I will just scout. Maybe I find a picture or two now that the sun is coming down and there's a bit more heather that is actually purple and not like dark reddish brown because of the orange light. So yeah, I'll walk a little bit around, but else I will show you all about this tomorrow. Oh, there's some sheep, and they don't really care because there's a lot of humans here normally, and they're pretty used to humans. So it's morning, and I think I do have a chance of getting what I'm after. So back in the spring, winter-ish, I was also here. I found this composition which is all the way out here. So I put on the 100 to 400 millimeter, and then I'm going to use the intervalometer f16. Gives me a shutter speed of like a lot right now, but then I go into the scene, put myself there, and hopefully some of the morning mist, as you can see down here. There's some sheep, morning mist, and also here that it will hopefully get over here. I saw it was just there before, so I know that mist like this is like pulsating, so hopefully it will get there. And yeah, it was very nice to just go and scout a little bit yesterday and make sure that there was some heather. It looks really nice now that there's not direct sunlight on it. They're nice and purple. But that's just the thing, like, you know, if you don't nail the right time and place, you can always find, of course, another photo, but no gear will save you if you have a specific vision. Then you absolutely, yeah, no amount of gear, the sharpest lens in the world will save you if you're not there at the right time, at the right moment, at the right place. So I've come down from the hill and into the valley, and right now I'm shooting a composition I also shot a few years ago, but from a slightly different angle. And now that there's heather and the tree is still green, so it's not autumn, so I actually like the colors probably better than I do autumn colors. And right now there's actually a sheep, probably a mother, and the little lamb here in the scene, and from time to time they look up, so I try to capture them. I've increased the ISO to 320, still I'm on f16, and it gives me a shutter speed of 1/10 of a second. If I hit it just right when they look up, then I get them frozen in time. So it's actually a nice little scene. The sun has come out and it's throwing light into the background. Crossing my fingers that it won't be too distracting. I would have preferred a little bit of fog lingering around, but yeah, doesn't seem to happen. But yeah, generally a nice little scene here. I'm focus tagging the foreground, so I get all the heather in focus throughout the scene. Not really sure if it's necessary, but now I have the option to choose afterwards in post-processing whether I want to focus tag it. I'll just be like, yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. Maybe you're not aware, but I actually have released a digital landscape photography map of Denmark. I've plotted this and so far 76 other locations on the map. It's easy to integrate and use with Google Maps so that you always have this inspiration at hand. And if you want to learn how I compose my photos, be sure to get my 2 ebooks. They are full of all the different compositional tools I use in the field to recognize compositions and arguably make my photos, as there is a deliberate act behind it. Both ebooks are easy to read with minimal text and many photos to emphasize my points. A continuous thank you to all of you who buys the map, the ebooks and give them all the 5-star reviews. It means a lot. There are links to both the map and ebooks in the description of the video. I moved a little bit further up the road and I'm actually shooting towards a little location where I also got a drone shot just before. I'll show you that afterwards here. But it's actually really nice. So just before I had the sun coming out from some clouds here, and I have these clouds up here a little bit further down, and it just lit up the trail here and backlit both the tree here and the small tree here and the heather. And it all looked really, really nice. I tried to compose it so that I had a fairly central composition to begin with, but I moved a little bit around. You can see I also bracketed this photo. Moved a little bit around and offset the composition a bit so that I had the trail more down in the corner to move up here. And I think it works fairly well. I'm a little bit in doubt, but I will have to see when I put it together. There's some potential there, that's for sure. But yeah, it's maybe a little bit more of a complex scene that I usually take, even though that there is a trail and there's leading line leading into like a subject. But yeah, it could work. It could work. I think so. So I complained here from time to time from usually a very vocal minority of YouTube viewers, is that there are just too many gear videos, gear, everything is about gear, too much emphasis on gear. And to a certain degree, I agree with that statement. I also think that there's too much focus on gear. Just as I made the point, like, if you're not at the right time and place, no gear can save you. But obviously we also need the gear to take the photos. It's just that there's a lot of emphasis on specs. But the thing is that I also find is that if I don't theme a video around gear, then there's a big risk that that video won't really be seen a whole lot by a lot of people, so I won't get as many views. And sadly, with my business model here on YouTube, I very much depend on those views. I don't have sponsorships from Squarespace and so forth. I need eyeballs on my products. I've decided to mainly go with my products. Maybe I go with sponsorships in the future, but so far so good, I would say. But the point is that it's all fine and dandy complaining about gear videos, or clickbait for that matter, it doesn't really matter. But then when we actually make videos that are not about gear or has clickbaity titles, then you have to go and watch those videos because else you will get gear videos and big titles and all that stuff. Probably going to title this video something like, if you don't like gear videos, watch this. So the point is basically like, fair enough complaining about how YouTube works. YouTube is basically just like mass psychology. So it's the psychology of the masses that dictates the kind of videos that's getting made. And I don't think there's anything different there for the past 100 years with newspapers and articles. But fact of the matter is, if we people who make videos for YouTube don't put a little bit of effort into making titles and thumbnails, then for the most part the videos will just tank. And that's frustrating for both us and you, because then you won't get new videos. Yeah, and so it goes. So it wasn't really meant to be a rant before. It was more like, just stating the obvious. If there's a kind of video that you prefer to see or watch on YouTube, then actually go and watch those videos. And yeah, support those videos. That's what I meant to say. So right now, I'm honestly struggling a little bit with finding focal points. Like, the nature is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I have hills, I have trees, I have blooming heather, but I also have sheep. So I have been taking a couple of photos with sheep, and there's this little lamp in this area, and it's super cute. And even though it's not like wildlife photography, it's more like tame life photography, I just got a beautiful little photo with this lamp right here on the trail, and I'm shooting at f/5.6 ISO 100, gives me a shutter speed of 1/30th of a second. That's the reason why I shoot f/5.6, because the sheep is moving. So just to make sure that I actually capture the sheep when it looks at me, I have to have not a fast shutter speed, but a fast enough shutter speed. And 1/30th of a second actually does that job really well. I like this photo, it's super cute. If you struggle with your landscape photography editing, I have a big course that teaches you all of my editing techniques. The course is designed progressively, so it starts out in the easy end and then advances to the harder techniques. It is well organized, so you can always go back and revisit the parts you find harder, or jump forth if there are parts you already know. I give you a ton of tools, which you can use to edit either as I do, or so that you can find your own path and preferences in post-processing. There is a link in the description of the video to enroll in the course, Photoshop for Landscape Photographers, and a special coupon code to all my YouTube viewers to save some money. And it's not that I have anything against gear videos and theming my videos around gear. It's just that what I actually prefer and what I think most people learn the most from when it comes to landscape photography is education on location. So when I go out and I make a vlogging educational video and I simply just take you through on location my thoughts on composition, a little bit on settings, and why I make the choices that I do. And I also find that in the vast majority of circumstances, those are the videos where I get the best photos. A little bit like the video I'm linking up here, where I so far have got my very best photo of the year by a landslide. Well, not a landslide, there's like two that really sticks out for me, but I'm pretty sure I prefer this one. But the point is that I themed the video with apparently a theme that weren't interesting for the masses. On my channel, I would say a successful video gets 30,000 views. A good video gets 50,000 views, and really good videos, like what I really aspire to, is definitely up there, 70 or beyond 100,000 views. But this one here, as far as I remember, it's not even 25,000 views. And I know that sounds a lot for a lot of you guys out there. But when you've done this for 6 years and you've grown your channel to more than 160,000 subscribers, it's a little bit sad to see that some of your best work isn't getting seen because either the thumbnail or the title just isn't appealing, so people don't click it. Well, it is what it is, and that is why I don't mind theming my videos around gear. I just want to focus on how to actually use that gear more than talking about the specs of the gear. I hope that makes sense. I really hope you didn't see this as a rant. I personally don't think there's anything more cringe than listening to YouTubers complain about the algorithm. We are in an attention-based economy, and that is the premise of making YouTube videos. As YouTube grows older and you, the viewer, also subscribe to other channels, not just other landscape YouTubers, who I don't really consider competitors, but other non-landscape photography related channels, the risk of me losing you, not as a subscriber, but as a viewer, increases because you get occupied with other videos. That is just natural. If I do not manage to make videos that pique your interest and the majority of my subscribers' interest when the thumbnail and title pop up, then you and the other subscribers of my channel are of course just not going to click my videos and see my work. This tells YouTube that the videos are not of interest, and then it stops promoting those videos. It's just how the world and human psychology works, and it's not really something I can change. I can just accept it. And YouTube doesn't care if it is mine or someone else's video you watch. The important part for them is that they keep your attention on the platform so that they can earn more advertisement money. They don't care what channels and videos they earn them from, and that is the premise for all creators. It's actually a very brutal, but in some ways also very fair, natural selection of videos based on attention. I hope this explained a little bit about how YouTube works if you didn't know. I didn't get more photos this morning, but I definitely got what I came for. Be sure to check out the links in the description of the video for the ebooks, Photoshop course, my landscape photography map of Denmark, and newsletter. See you next time.